Thank you for watching the short video. The theme is the sins of Abraham's children. And my name is Brother Sean, and I'm a member of the cyber community of Interfaith Franciscans. The sins of Abraham's children. What is that saying? Well, we know that Jerusalem is the birthplace of the Abrahamic faith. And the Abrahamic faith consists of three of the major world religions: Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. And we know from historical records that it's not been an easy ride for all three of the world religions. There's been all sorts of religious battles for the capture of Jerusalem, especially the temple. But let me share this with you. We are aware in the media of all the sexual scandals within the Christian church, especially the Catholic Church around the world, and they are abhorrent, absolutely abhorrent. But what is so challenging for me as a Catholic Christian who embraces lay monasticism from my own home is the lack of transparency prior to the election of our new Pope, Pope Francis. And he has my undivided support. But it's not just the Christian church. I'm aware from supporting clients over the years that there's abuse within the Muslim family and our family of brother and sister Jews. And it's not just a recent event. It's been happening since time immemorial. But what is so disturbing is when you look at the men and women who've been chosen by God, not only to dedicate their lives to God in service to others, especially the marginalized, the impoverished, the vulnerable, and little children, that these little ones, the innocents, are bullied, punished, and abused. And only recently I watched a program on the sins of our fathers about a Benedictine community in Scotland at Fort Augustus, and honestly I was just deeply, deeply saddened to see what had happened and to listen to the stories of men my age now, 65, who had incurred the most horrific abuse, both physical and sexual, and it has scarred them for life. So we each must take responsibility for this. But I know that today our young people are more savvy than I was as a little boy, because I was not sexually abused by the Christian brothers. I was physically and emotionally abused because I was Scottish, living in Dublin and being educated by them. They were horrendous men. And yet, at 16, I decided to follow my heart and accept God's invitation and become a nursing monk. How interesting is that? But I forgive those men, because a lot of the men and women who abuse others, they're wounded themselves. They are wounded and they need our prayer. They need our support. And whilst I don't condone what's happened, I don't condemn, because that's defeatist. But I also know that within the Abrahamic faith, there are good men and women who are dedicated to God as ministers, imams, rabbis, and deacons. And they are tarred with the same brush. And that I find equally challenging, because it must instill within them a fear when they're around young children. They might be normal, healthy, heterosexual males and females. And yet there must be an innate fear of being seen with children in case anyone should think that they're grooming them. But I do feel that we need to get everything into perspective now, because I feel that the Spirit of God has raised our awareness to what has happened. And what has happened can never be undone, but we can send love, we can send light and healing to all those who were the perpetrators of such heinous crimes. But we can also send love and blessing to the victims, many of whom are living their tragedy as I speak. And I know that some, well, not some, quite a few, have taken their own life. But we have to draw a line, don't we, in the sand. And we have to begin to move on. And I know that's not easy for some people who've been scarred by this. And I'm not dismissing it into thin air, because I take responsibility as a member of the Catholic Church. And what I can do may appear insignificant, but I can hold you if you've been affected by this, or if you have been a perpetrator of this, before a loving God. So let us empower those who have been devastated by this. And when I look at my own family in Ireland, and I listen to the tales of how so many are bypassing the church because of what happened, the lies, the duplicity, the lack of transparency, the deviousness of the church. But not all are like that. You'll always find a few who will get through the net. And today, I know that the vetting procedures are in place. And if an individual is found to be grooming a child for sexual pleasure, whatever, then they're brought to task, removed immediately. They're not passed on to another diocese or another country without alerting the authorities, which didn't happen. But let us remember those who've abused, because they have to live with their guilt. They have to live each waking moment with what they've done to the children of God. So the sins of our Abrahamic family is not a pie in the sky, it's a reality. And it's not just the Christian church who have abused. It's within the Muslim and Judaic communities as well. And we mustn't become complacent either, because the media is full of sex scandals today, of celebrities who've abused young children, who took advantage of their innocence and naivety, and it's abhorrent in the eyes of God. But let us not prejudge a priest, a rabbi, or an imam who happens to be friendly with a young child. Their actions may be totally innocent. Let us give them the benefit of the doubt. But if we do see or hear anything untoward, excuse me, then we have a duty of care. A duty of care to ensure that that is reported to the legal authorities. And I would report it to the authorities first, rather than the church authorities. And that sounds strange, doesn't it? Yes, because I know that in my own church, the Catholic Church, many ordinary parishioners couldn't conceive that a priest or a nun or a monk could do such a heinous thing to a child. so they obliterated it from their mind and pretended it didn't happen. Well, today we are aware that we are paying the price for our ignorance, for our naivety. So let us not go through the remainder of our life pretending that all is well when something may not be well. Let us be on our guard. Let us be alert. And I would say to all the religious authorities of the Abrahamic faith, Jew, Muslim and Christian, become more transparent. Meet with the victim, although I hate the word victim, but meet with the abused. And instead of throwing money at them because of litigation, show them the compassionate heart of Abraham's God. Show them the love and the respect that they are entitled to. So let us just pray a simple prayer. I will honor your traditions, holy wisdom, sacred space. I will cherish your devotions, faithful prayers, abundant grace. When your paths are steep and lonely, in the shadows of the night, know that I will stand with you to greet the ever-coming light. As the wondrous mysteries deepens, as through earth and stars we roam, you are mighty, dear companions, in the ways that bring us home. Life is one, the source is one within and one above, one the joy as we awaken, one in healing, peace and love. Namaste. Shalom, inshallah, pax et bonum, Om Shanti, Solo di Caritas, peace, and thank you for watching. God bless you.